Hello and welcome once again to the Tech Explorers channel. In this video, we will be teaching us exactly how to use the Upwork time tracker. All right. Now, for many of us who are new to Upwork, we're wondering what next when we get our first job. Now, I'll tell you my story. When I got my first job on Upwork, I wasn't familiar with the Upwork time tracker. Okay, so what happened? I got the job, a very quick research job that was supposed to take just an hour. But unfortunately, the job spanned through 4 hours. But because I was not so familiar with the condition, the Upwork time tracker, which is the reason why Upwork would recommend that you go through their resources so that you know exactly how to proceed with your first job and other things that concerns Upwork. All right. But because I was adamant, all right, I made a mistake which I regret at the first time. Okay, so after doing the job, I discovered that the client paid me for just 1 hour. However, that was our agreement, though I worked for more than 1 hour. But was there any evidence to show that I worked for more than 1 hour? There was none. Okay, so it was even through the graciousness of the client that I was even able to be paid for the 1 hour. Because if I was to raise an alarm on Upwork, there was no way Upwork would be able to trace the time because there was no evidence that I tracked what I worked for. Okay, so that is the essence for which we are shooting this very training video so that you can know exactly what to do when you get your first job. All right, so when you get your first job, you would get a notification, okay, on your dashboard. Mind you, this is not my dashboard, this is my job site, okay, my job history. On your dashboard, where you click on find job or find work, this is what your dashboard looks like. All right. So when you get your first job on your dashboard or on your profile page, you would see a couple of things. One of the things that will pop up at the edge or at the top of your page is that you should verify your account. Okay, we'll talk about that in another video. Verify your account is one. And then the next thing that you'll be asked to do, if the job is an hourly job, okay, you'll be asked to download the Upwork time tracker. All right, the Upwork time tracker. Now, this Upwork time tracker, which I'll be showing us in a few minutes from now, is what you would need to use to track your time. I'll explain to us how it works and I'll show us some features of the Upwork time tracker. But if for any reason you lose that pop-up that comes up at the top of your page, you can always go back to your jobs, okay? Under my jobs, just scroll down to my jobs and click on my jobs. You will see your first job. For you who are a new freelancer, you will just see one job, which is after you must have accepted the offer letter that your client sent you. All right. You will see the job, you click on that job. Once you click on the job, it opens up the details of the job. Okay, right here is an overview of the job. This is the timesheet. This is the messages that you and the client have had over time, and this is the detail of the job. All right, but that is not what we'll be focusing on right now. What we want to focus on is this region here. Now, because I have downloaded the Upwork time tracker, what I have here is to either open the time tracker or add time manually. All right. But for you who are a new freelancer and who have not downloaded the Upwork time tracker or logged it in, then you will be asked to download an Upwork time tracker here if you have not downloaded one. All right. Now, I need to quickly talk about this manual time login. All right. For some kind of job, that will require you to work outside your computer, all right? Because one of the benefits of tracking your time with the Upwork time tracker is that the tracker helps you to take screenshots of your screen as you're working. And as it takes the screenshot, it is sending it over to your client. I'll show you how that works in a few minutes from now. All right. But if for any reason you have to work outside your computer where the screenshots of your screen cannot be captured, then you and the client will need to reach an agreement that he needs to allow you to add your time manually. All right. Because if it does not allow you to add your time manually, it simply means any work that you're doing outside your system or your PC that is not captured, by the Upwork time tracker, it means that job is lost. The payment for that job will not be gotten except if your client is gracious enough, like mine was at the first time I got the job. All right, so what happens when we download the Upwork time tracker? Come with me while we open up what is an Upwork time tracker. So I click on this, and this is the symbol of the Upwork time tracker. You can see it loading up, and that is what it looks like when you install it. It will ask you for some details, okay, some login details, which is the same thing as what you use to log in. That is your details, your information, your username and password on Upwork. Just plug it in, and you would be logged into your Upwork time tracker. Once the tracker opens up, this is the interface you see. On the left-hand side is the tracker itself, and on the right-hand side are the messages that you have interacted with your client. All right, you would not be needing these except to just have a feel of the interface. If you love this message interface, you can keep it, but usually I just close it up. Okay, and then I am left with the tracker itself. So let's quickly go through the tracker. Now, when you must have accepted the job that your client offered you, as soon as you accept the offer, the client's job description and information would appear automatically. You don't need to do anything. It will automatically appear on your Upwork time tracker. Okay. And once it appears here, what you want to simply do is to click on it. But before we do that, there are other things that I quickly want to show us. And what are those? The interface of the Upwork time tracker. All right. As you can see here, this is the search option. Once you click on it, you perhaps want to search for a particular client. This is useful when you have a load of work that you have done, hourly work, okay, and you're trying to search for a particular client whose work you want to do at a particular time. You want to use this to search them instead of scrolling all the way down your screen. You want to use this to call up the name of this client, or if you know the title of the job, you just type it in. As soon as you search for the job, it pops up, and then you can open the job and then start tracking your work. Aside that, we also have this bottom section here, or the down section here, that looks like a wheel icon. Once you click on it, you have an option popping up. First option is the settings, which is what you want to really pay attention to. We also have support and feedback, help articles, about, and exit. All right. I'll only focus on the settings because that is where most of the work will be done as far as this Upwork time tracker is concerned. Whatever you set up here is what is going to make you or mar you as far as the job is concerned. So a click on the settings opens us up to what we are seeing presently on my screen. Now, the first option here is a screen capture. The screen capture allows you two options. Either you're capturing the active monitor screen, that is the active monitor rather, or you're capturing all monitors, that is if you're connected to an extended monitor, like I am, okay, in some cases. Once you're connected to an extended monitor and you want the tracker to capture even that extended monitor, you want to use this option. But if you don't want that to happen, you want to just stay on your active screen, meaning it is a screen with which you're working at the moment that the tracker would capture. Now, when the tracker captures a particular screenshot, you would see some notifications. Here, I'll show you exactly how to set that. Now, this is for notification, desktop notification. This shows the desktop notification on screen capture. Usually, when you're tracking your time, I'll show you how to track your time in very few minutes to come. When you're tracking your time and the tracker takes a screenshot of your screen, just below this screen here, you would find a notification showing that the tracker has captured your screen. Okay, now if you were not doing what you were supposed to be doing as at the time when the tracker captured your screen, you would have a split second, okay, a split second to cancel that capture because you would see something that looks like a timer, okay, piling up all the way. It's unfortunate I can't do that now because I am not working at the moment, all right? But from my explanation, you should understand when you see it. As soon as you hear the click sound, if you're using a headset or an earphone or an AirPod, you will hear the click sound. Once you hear the click sound while you're working, it simply means the Upwork tracker has captured your screen. And then you automatically get a notification at this edge, the bottom, the right bottom edge of your screen. You see a notification showing you what was captured, and there is a simple timer that would be moving upwards. Okay, as soon as that bar fills up, it would automatically send that screen capture over to your client, and I'll show you exactly where to locate those screen captures. Now, if you don't want that notification to pop up for any reason, which I don't recommend, you can turn it off. Okay, but it's very important you leave it on so that you can always know when that notification pops up. It tells you that your screen has been captured by Upwork. All right, and if it's something that you don't want Upwork to see, you can always cancel it out before that timer bar gets filled up. Now, if you want to change the sound that you hear, I told you earlier on that when the timer takes a screenshot of your screen, it makes a click sound, all right? Just like the sound of a camera taking a shot, all right? Once you hear the click sound, it shows that your screen has been captured. Now, if you want to change that sound, this is exactly where you can do that. If you have a custom sound you want to upload so that you know exactly that this is what it means, you can always upload this, all right? Upload the sound and you're good to go. But if you don't like the sound, you can turn it off, which I don't recommend, all right? So for record's sake, you could just leave all this on. You can also change your time zone, which is not compulsory, but for me, it's recommended. You can change your time zone so that you know exactly what time zone you're working in. If you want to leave it in your client's time zone, please be my guest. The next thing you want to do is to go to the camera option. Do you want the screen, when captured, to also capture you working? Okay, that is, you want the camera feature to also be captured alongside the screen. If you want that, which I don't recommend, except you just want to use that option, you can go ahead and tick this option. But for me, I don't do that. Then you want to get a reminder, all right? Because before you begin to work, you need to put in something called a memo. A memo is like a short description about what you're working on so that when the client sees the screen capture, he is able to tell that this is exactly what you're working on at a particular time. There's a lot that we're going to be exposing as far as the Upwork time tracker is concerned. So stay tuned until the end of this video. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to click on that thumbs up button to like the video and then to subscribe so that you all can always get a notification when I drop new videos like this. So back to what we were discussing. If you want to get a reminder, okay, because if you don't describe what you're doing, sometimes you will not even be allowed to track that time, all right? And sometimes it's just beneficial that you describe what you're doing with your memo, because when the client does not know what you're doing, they may want to dispute the work that you have done. So it's very important, and I'll show us exactly how we can get that done. So if you want to always get a reminder before you begin work or as soon as you turn on your Upwork tracker to always put in your memo, you can always choose this. You can see it right here, reminder to change memo every when. When do you want to be reminded? You don't want to be reminded at all, you can choose no reminder. Only when timer is started, you can choose that 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, you want to go with your option that suits you. And when time tracking is off, show reminder to turn it on every when. You can always choose that as well as it works for you. Now, messages is something that we already talked about. It's not really necessary at this point in time. A keyword shortcut and then the advanced option. All these are really not necessary. Okay, the necessary ones are the screen capture, the time zone, and that works. Now, let us head straight over to the most important part of our Upwork time tracker. So as soon as you accept your offer, that is a job offer that the client has given you, the job automatically pops up here. And just below the job, you will find the name of the client and the company that they are attached to. And by the right hand side here, you will find how many hours of work that the client has permitted you to do. Okay, for some clients it can be more than 20 hours, say 40 hours. For others it could be less. Okay, whatever time it is for the week will be recorded right here. And then just above that you can see a dash icon here, meaning I have not worked for this week on this particular job. All right, but if I begin working, you will see the number of hours that I have spent on this work out of the total number of hours that the client has permitted me to work for the week. All right, so let's jump right into the work and see what the tracker looks like. So this is the interface that we were talking about. At the top edge here, you can find the name of the job description, and then the title rather of the job, and then the name of the client, just as we saw it at the other side, and then the company that the client is attached to. And then right here is the tracking period itself. So you're tracked according to the hours and the minutes that you have worked. Okay, and then this is where you can toggle the timer off and on. Toggle it on, change it to green. If you toggle it off, it changes back to black. All right, now this tells you how many hours that you have worked for a day. Okay, and then by the brackets or the parentheses here, it tells you what day of the week that is. Presently, as I'm shooting this video, the 20th day of January 2023, today is Saturday, and that's why you can see Saturday here. Now here at the right side, it tells you how many hours that you have worked in total. Okay, at this left hand side, it tells you how many hours you have worked for the day. Here it tells you how many hours that you have worked for the week. All right, so that is the difference between the tracking here and the recording of the work here. All right, so this is the memo that we were talking about previously, and this is where you want to enter the kind of job or the description of the work that you are doing at a given time. Okay, so if, say for instance, the client asks you to do some research on some social media post, you want to head over to this section and type it out that this is a research work, just something very simple. It doesn't need to be an article, very brief and direct, that this is a social media research work. All right, just something very brief and you're done. Okay, once you've put that in, you smash on this start tracking, and as soon as you smash on this start tracking, if you want to start working that instant, as soon as you smash on this start tracking, it will take you back to this page and it would automatically toggle this on without you touching this. Okay, but if you had done that previously, you had put in your memo, okay, there is already a work description filled into this box here, then you don't need to come through this section again, except there is need to change it. Okay, but if it is the same work that you're doing over and again, just leave the memo to be the same. All you need to do is just to go over to this toggle option here and toggle your time on so that it can begin to track. Now the next section here is the screenshot section. For every screenshot that is taken, it appears right here for you to see. Okay, now when the screenshot is taken, remember we talked about the Upwork time tracker capturing your screen, or if you had given it the option to also capture your camera, it will pick your face as you're working, and then for some time you get a pop-up here showing you what has been captured, and if you do not cancel it before the notification gets filled, it will be automatically enlisted right into this section and sent over to your client. All right, now this is where it gets tricky. If for instance the screen that was captured is not the page that should be captured. A typical example, you're supposed to be working on a CRM tool, and then for any reason you got tired and then you just decided to quickly visit a Facebook page just to ease off your stress, and then Upwork eventually captured your Facebook page, which is not part of the job that the client has given you to do. What you want to do, if you could not stop the notification from being sent to your client at that moment, you can always cancel that screenshot eventually, but there is a downside to that. And the downside is that you will lose the payment for that period that you have canceled. Now, Upwork Time Tracker tends to take screenshots of your screen every 10 minutes. Okay, every 10 minutes. And you know, every minute is paid for. So if you end up deleting 10 minutes of your work, it means you're not going to be paid for that 10 minutes. I'll show you exactly what that means in few minutes to come. But before we go to that, let's move to this section, which is add manual time. All right, remember we talked about how to add manual time previously in a case where you have to work outside of your PC. And for your information, there is no Upwork time tracker as at this day when this video is being recorded. There is no Upwork time tracker for mobile. In other words, if you are doing the kind of job that requires you to be on your phone, a typical example is Instagram DM. If you are assisting some e-commerce store to respond to their customers via Instagram and you need your phone to do that, then for such kind of jobs, you will need to enter your time manually because there is no manual tracker for mobile phones. And since you're not working on your system, the only option you've got is to enter that time manually. But for you to be able to do that, you will need to reach an agreement with your client so that that can be factored into the job offer. Now, if that is allowed, then you can simply click on add manual time and then you make sure that it is the exact date that you worked for that you're going to be adding. Okay, if for any reason you worked on a particular day, say for instance you worked on a Thursday and today is Saturday, and you remembered that you have not added your time for Thursday, you can always go back to Thursday, all right, and then select Thursday and fill out the necessary details that you worked on Thursday. Okay, but today is Saturday, so let's say today is Saturday and we have finished working for the past 3 hours and we want to fill in our time manually. Okay, this is how you go about that. The time zone, you can either choose your own time zone or you can change it to your client's time zone, depending on how you worked or what agreement you have with your client. Now you want to head over here to select the time that you started the work. All right, even if it is not an exact time, just give it an estimated time. The time you started the work should go in here, and the time you completed the job should go in here. Okay, once that is done, then you automatically see the duration, okay, of the hours that you have worked. So from what time I have imputed here, it tells me that I have worked for 1 hour 40 minutes. Okay, and then I want to quickly drop a short memo here. This is very important, all right, especially for the time when some clients want to raise a dispute. You want to make sure that you describe exactly what you did at this time, okay, so that when the client sees it, he's able to read through and ascertain that this is exactly what you did at this time. Now, mind you, this particular date here changes every week at the beginning of the week, which is on a Monday, okay, because the week ends on a Sunday. All right, so on a Monday, once it is Monday, you will not be able to see Tuesday to Saturday. You'll only be able to see Monday and you won't even see Sunday. So make sure that before the week runs off or runs out, you have entered all your time accordingly. All right, but if for any reason you could not record your time, you can always have that discussion with your client and find how you would factor that into the next week. So once you have done putting in all your details, okay, let's just put in something like details. As soon as you enter something into this memo box, you see that this save option here turns green. So I can go ahead and smash the green button. And once I smash the green button, this time that has been logged, 1 hour 40 minutes, would automatically be logged into this region. So you would see 1 hour 40 minutes worked for the day, and it will also come up here to tell that I have worked for 1 hour 40 minutes for the week. So this is basically how you can work around an Upwork time tracker. I promised you one thing before now, and I'm going to fulfill that. And what is that? How do you delete a screenshot that has been captured by the Upwork time tracker, which is not part of the job that a client has given you? Come with me while we go through that. So once you click on this view work diary, it takes you to your work diary for that particular client. Remember, when you open up your Upwork time tracker, what you get to see what you get to see on your Upwork time tracker is the particular job for a particular client. Okay, so when I click on view work diary, it will take me to the work diary for this client. All right, so for those of you who may have multiple clients that you're working for, you want to go back and make sure that you are tracking the time of the exact client that you are working for. Make no mistake about this. Do not track the time of a different client on another's time, okay? Because it could implicate you eventually. And we have had series of cases like that where people lost their job because of those kind of silly mistakes. So you want to avoid those mistakes so that you can always retain your job and retain your client for a longer time. All right. So we go back, we click on view work diary, and then it takes us to the work diary of that particular client that we are working for. All right, so right here you can see that there is no work diary for the day because I have basically not even done anything today. So what you want to do is to search for the day that you worked. All right, and you can always do that by clicking on the calendar option here. Okay, and you can track it all the way back. Let's see when last I worked here. Let's say January. Okay, I've not worked this day. December. Okay, let's go back a little bit more. All right, so here we are. Now you can see that we have screenshots of previous work or previous job that I have done for this client. All right, now if you notice, this screenshot comes with a timestamp. You can see the date here is Tuesday, December the 20th, 2022. All right. Now, the time that was tracked, I worked for a total of 1 hour, and that is between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. I work between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. and between 5:10 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. this screenshot was taken. And between 6 p.m. to 6:40 p.m., sorry, excuse me, I think I worked for up to 7 p.m. rather. So between 6 p.m. to 6:40 p.m., these four screenshots were taken. All right, now follow me closely. If you check right at this bottom here, you can see this is 5:10 p.m. This is 5:20 p.m. All right. Now, if you go further down, this is 6 p.m. This is 6:10 p.m. and this is 6:20 p.m. and this is 6:30 p.m. Now, sometimes this time tracker may be very unpredictable. Sometimes it would avoid or it would omit a particular 10 minutes and log it in an additional 10 minutes, meaning instead of giving you 6:40 p.m., it may end up giving you 6:50 p.m. So that makes it 20 minutes. So it may do that at some intervals. But what exactly are we looking at? When you open up a screenshot, there are some few things that you need to understand. Now, only very few clients know about this. And if your client gets to know about it and you are found guilty, he or she may dispute the work that you have done. So I'm showing this to you either as a client or as a freelancer, so you are extra careful with what you do. Now, when you open up a job, for instance, let's say this is a job that I opened up that was cut on the screen. You scroll down, you see these are the details of the job. This job was done for 5:20 p.m. Okay, at the time the screen was taken or the screenshot was taken, it was 5:20 p.m. It is an active window. Okay, working for this particular client. I didn't really put in any memo because I and the client already had an understanding. So the activity there, I didn't really fill in anything. All right, but do not go through this method. Please always fill in your memo, except if you are like me and my client, understanding your client better and you really have a good rapport, then that may not necessarily be very compulsory for you. Now, this is where I want you to focus on. This is our activity level. Now, if you read down here, you can see the time, you have the keyboard, and you have the mouse. This simply tells the client who checks this what you were doing at this time. At 5:20 p.m., 59 seconds. 5:20, that is 5:20, 59, 5 hours, 20 minutes, 59 seconds p.m. You did not type anything on your keyboard. That is why your keyboard strokes is recorded as 0. And you did not move your mouse, meaning it was also recorded as 0. And the next time, which is 5:22 p.m., and that is roughly about 2 minutes later, you only struck your keyboard twice and you moved your mouse 5 times. Can you see how very detailed this tracker can be? Okay, and if you look further down, the highest time I struck my keyboard was this, and that was 23 strokes. Okay, and then the mouse was moved about 10 times, and this movement of the mouse could involve either the movement around the mouse pad, or when you click on the mouse, or when you scroll using the mouse scroller. All right, all those will be recorded under the mouse section. But what is very peculiar here is that this activity that goes on here will determine what your activity bar here will look like. You see how low my activity bar is at this very portion of the screenshot as compared to this very one right here. You can see how detailed this is. Almost every line here has a number except this right here. So I was always busy typing, always busy moving the mouse, because this was the peak of the job for me when I was doing this particular work. And then when I was doing the particular work, and the screenshot was taken at 6:20. Okay, you can see the activity bar is very high. Now, if for any time a screenshot was taken and it is not the screenshot that you want your client to see, you can always come down here, come down to this portion, and then you can click on that screenshot, scroll down to search for the delete option. Okay, search for the delete option. Now, it's unfortunate that this was some job I did for this client last year and it has been paid for. So for some reason, the delete option is not showing up here. But if it is a recent job, what you want to do is take note of the box. There will be a check option here. There will be a box just underneath this activity bar. So you can click on that box. Once you click on that box, it will check this particular screenshot. And once you click on the box, you will see an option at the top edge here, an option for you to delete that particular screenshot. Mind you, once you delete that screenshot, you have lost the payment for this entire 10 minutes of your work. Okay, because this is a 10 minutes of job done, this is another 10 minutes of job done. So for every delete that you make, you have lost 10 minutes of that job. And be very careful, because I explained previously, in some cases, the screenshot may be taken for 20 minutes of activities. So if you delete a 20-minute activity, it means you have lost 20 minutes of the job. And if the client is very smart enough, then they would know as soon as there is a discrepancy in your timing. If this is 5:10 and the next time that they are seeing is 5:30, and they cannot find 5:20, a sensible client or a smart client or a wise client would know that you have deleted the 5:20. All right, or perhaps they may assume that you did not work for that period. Perhaps you just turned off your tracker at that time. Whatever case it is, it means that you will not be paid for that time. All right, so this is what it means to actually work with the Upwork time tracker. We have basically dealt with everything that you need to know about tracking your time after you have gotten your first job or your first offer on Upwork. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please do well to smash on the thumbs up button if you like the video, so that other freelancers like you can also benefit from the information that was passed across in this video. And do well to subscribe on this very channel if you have not, so that you can always get notification whenever videos like this drop on this channel. Until next time, thank you for joining and see you in another video.